Hello and welcome back to Misty Island. So in the last episode, Krudius and Audrey traveled back to the Whitdane household where they conferred with the other people on the island, the islanders, and Krudius tried to get information about the 3 adults that are still missing. And together with Audrey, he kind of figured out that 2 of them should be turned into wolves. But he has the problem that he needs to buy himself enough time to be able to try to cast the Purgo magic spell on them before they attack him, basically. So he had traveled back to the Crestplume house together with little Audrey, and he spent the day and the whole evening studying, and he did level up to level 10, so he's now a full-fledged neutral warlock. And he is able to cast a bunch of spells, and he has figured out a plan. And he's also spent some time crafting reagents that he is going to need. So, as you can see, he's ready to drop. He is really, really, really bored as well. So he needs some more fun, and well, he needs a bunch of stuff, really. And little Audrey is similarly exhausted as well. She's been sitting here on the chair just watching him. And I think that for her, this has brought back some fond childhood memories of sitting down here together with her mother, because as we learned last time, this cauldron and the spellbook is Audrey's mother's things, Anora's. And Krudius, on his hand, has been, keeping an eye on Audrey, sort of out of the corner of his eye as he's been brewing, and he's noticed that she has started to, droop, starting to get tired, and he remembers himself being in her age once he was picked up by Wolfric and became his apprentice. He also spent many, many days just sitting and watching and learning from him. So there's some fond childhood memories mixed in there with all the hurt as well for him. And I think that having Audrey here appearing like this is nostalgic for him, I suppose. But I think it's time for them to head to bed, really. So I'm gonna start by having just Audrey walk like this, and Krudius, I think, can just, teleport up to the bathroom, and she's going to carry the chair back upstairs. And I'm also going to bring her here because, the bookshelf is in the way of going up the staircase. So she can... Oh. Yeah, she got where she needed to go anyway. So she also needs to use the bathroom, actually, so I guess she can use this one. And then she's going to go to bed. And of course, Krudius needs to use the loo. And he's going to go to bed in the big bed. So it's the morning, and Krudius is going to go ahead and wake up. He's had a good night's sleep. That's good. And I think he's going to go ahead and cast the Clinius Corpus. And he can go ahead and change into his everyday. And he's actually also going to go to the pantry here and get leftovers, because there's some leftover pancakes from last morning. And I think that Audrey is also hearing the noises of him moving around, so she's also going to wake up. And she can actually have a shower. So I think that Krudius feels a little bit uncomfortable here in this house. This is a lot nicer than what he's used to, and it's almost like he's feeling scared of accidentally destroying something. And also, even though he's, constantly casting cleaning spells on himself, he's always wearing the same robes. So I think that there's quite a bit of dust and grime on those, and sitting on these fancy chairs, I think that he's feeling a little uncomfortable with that as well. But he's gonna make do, and once again he is desperately bored, so I think that he can settle down to read just a mystery novel, I suppose, to take his mind off things here. And Audrey can go ahead and grab some pancakes. So Krudius and Audrey have spent some time together here in the library together, reading in silence, but they're actually also getting some social from that, so that's nice. And I think that Krudius actually could use a bathroom break and then also another plate of pancakes, probably. So Krudius is as ready as he can be. He's not hungry anymore, and all of his needs look good, really. So I think it's time for him to head out. And he also calls for Audrey to get out of the house as well. And Krudius tells Audrey that it's time for us to part ways, and I'm serious about it this time. I'm going to go on the attack and try to face off with wolves, and there's no place for a child in any of that. And of course, Audrey being Audrey, she tries to argue, but Krudius is firm in this, and for some reason she accepts it. She can sense that he means business this time, and that she will not be allowed to come with at any point. So she promises to go back to the Whitdanes and wait for him there while he is trying his best to recover the adults missing. So Krudius is going to have to start by finding the wolf pack, and he's not sure where they could be at the moment, so he's going to start by going to the collection of houses where he last saw them and see if he's lucky. So Krudius has arrived here at the collection of houses, and he's going to carefully walk up to the spot where he saw the wolves last time to see if they have returned. But coming up to this patch where the wolves were lost, he can see that no, they're not here. So he's gonna have to keep looking. So Krudius is going to pick up his broomstick again, and he's going to fly somewhere else. And Krudius has arrived at the docks, the second stop, to see if there's any wolves out here. So he's going to check out the sort of forest patch over here if he can find any sign of life. But he can see that no, actually, there's no one here. He's trying to spy into the forest edge here along the trees, but no, he can't see any wolves here. So he realizes that he has to move on. So he's going to get back out again and try a third spot. So Krudius has returned to the forest patch where he first started here. And he is going to head over here, walk down the path and see if he can see anything. It's very, very misty here, of course, so it's difficult to see anything at all. But as he's coming up here around this tree, he can see the pit where he ended up. And sure enough, this is where the wolves have decided to take residence, chilling out in the cool dirt, no doubt. Looks like they've also found something more to eat, some critter that couldn't escape them, of course. So they're gnawing here at some of the bones, looks like. And Krudius is thinking to himself that that's perfect. He can take this opportunity to cast the spell and hopefully be able to do what he can and see if some of these are actually humans and not wolves. So the spell that Krudius has been preparing is a very, very powerful spell. It's actually the most powerful, most power demanding spell in the game, and it's a level 10 neutral wizard spell, so only the most powerful neutral warlocks and witches can cast this spell, and it is Tempus Interruptus. So it's going to cast that. So the whole world is starting to shake. And you can see that all of the wolves are actually going to sleep. And the whole world is put on pause as Krudius is casting this spell. So you can see also the time is paused. I haven't used any mods for that. That is just the spell. And the wolves are completely incapacitated here. And if there would have been humans here on the lot, they would have also been completely frozen. The only people who are not affected by this curse is other mages. So if there would have been the evil witch here, she would not have been affected by this. But for the wolves, this is actually perfect. So now that he's completely safe, Krudius is going to head down into the pit. And he's going to take a closer look at these wolves. If he can see any sign at all of which one of them would be a human, perhaps. And he's sensing out with his magic, and he can feel that there's something different about two of the wolves. The first one he's sensing something from is this one. So he's going to cast the spell on this one. And the spell worked. The wolf was transformed into a woman. We have Caroline Warthorn here. And Krudius is not going to waste any more time. He also noticed that this wolf was also feeling a bit different from the others. So he's going to go ahead and also cast the same spell on this one. And also that man is transformed from a wolf into a man. So with that done, Krudius can go ahead and cast the spell Tempus Resumo. And all the wolves are waking up again. But now he's going to be fast about it and cast Expello Simae to make sure that these all disappear. And with the wave of his wand, the wolves are dispelled and his plan was successful. So, Krudius has got two very confused looking adults right here in the pit. And yeah, their thoughts must be very scrambled because, you know, similarly to the children who were cats before, they have been running on animal instinct for years now. And getting back to their old human selves must be very, very confusing. But Krudius is going to go up and introduce himself, let them know what has happened. He's gonna tell them about the curses and the fact that he's been helping the others on the island to break the curses. They're based on fear, and their children are safe. They're with the Whitdanes, so they should be able to get back to them and reunite and learn more about all of these things. And of course, these two are very, very grateful, and they are very eager to return to their friends and family. So they're going to hurry, actually, off the lot. They're going to run, both of them, actually. She can't run. With the power of the all menus cheats, she can also run. So as soon as she heard where her children were, she ran away. And I think that James is also going to join her. So Krudius is left alone here, and he's pretty happy about that, to be honest. He has been around people so much these last few days that he's completely drained. And he breathes in the air, the forest air, the quietness around him, and takes the moment in and realizes that he's missed this. He might have been scorned and persecuted and looked down on, but he's also been very happy to be alone and do his own things. So he feels like the forest around him and the quietness and everything is giving him a lot of energy that he's been missing. So he wants to savor this moment and he wants to spend some more time alone before he goes back to everyone and all of the noise, all of the people. So he's actually going to head over here to travel to the cliffs and have a bit of a breather. So Krudius arrives to the cliffs where he started. And he's gonna go up here to the edge and look out again at the mist. Everything out here. And he's taking it all in, the quietness and the finality of this line that he can't pass. He's going to turn over here to walk over again to Richard and Anora's graves. And of course, standing in front of them now that he's learned a bit more about their history, it's a completely different feeling from when he first ended up here. And he can sort of see the people in front of him now that he's also seen a picture of what they looked like. You know, Richard seemed so approachable. He seemed really friendly and kind. And Anora seemed to be an amazing mother to Audrey and seemed to be so personable and kind and beautiful. Krudius actually has a weakness for blonde witches. So he's sure that if they would have met before she died, you know, he would have liked her very much for many reasons. So standing here in front of them, also keeping their daughter in mind, he can't help but think and wonder, why did they die? What happened here? He's heard, of course, that they were trying to leave the island, but it seems so strange that they would try to leave without Audrey. Audrey was apparently with her grandmother, and would they just up and leave without her, just like that? There's also the mystery of the nursery over at the Crestgloom house, because there's never any mention of any other children, and no, where is that baby or toddler? There's so many things that Krudius still doesn't understand, and once more he feels like he's very close to finding out the truth and figuring this all out, but it also feels like he's very far away. And as he's standing here, looking down at the graves, he can hear the sound of the waves crashing against the shoreline and also the seagulls flying overhead. And Krudius starts to scratch his head, wondering, where are the seagulls coming from? And he takes a look out at the water, remembering how both Roger and Eugene have been fishing all this time and never seem to have any issues with the amount of fish in the ocean. Where are the fish coming from? You know, sure, there could be fish around the border here along the coastline, but for 3 years, and they have been constantly fishing. Is that it could be possible, but it seems also very strange. It's almost like those animals are able to come and go just as they please. So Krudius is pondering that and wondering how that could be. You know, he heard from Roger that he had attempted to leave the island, just like Krudius has, and that he was blocked by something. But Krudius realizes that that was actually back when Roger was still a skeleton, though. He was some sort of magical creature at that point. He wasn't really a living, breathing human or animal like the seagulls are or the fish. So Krudius actually ends up realizing that this magical mist is probably just blocking magical beings. You know, it would make sense if this magical mist was put up by Aigreth. She wanted to keep her daughter on the island. Her daughter Anora, who was a witch. She didn't care about anyone else. She didn't care about Richard, a normal human. He could leave. In fact, they were enemies. She would only have been happy if he had left the island. So of course, Krudius thinks, of course, that's the key to how to leave this island. The only thing he has to do in order to be able to leave is to brew himself a batch of Witch Begone, drink that to become a normal human man again, and then he can just leave. And with that realization, Krudius hurriedly mounts his broom, ready to go back and brew himself some potions.